Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking Spare. This is my second part of my series where I am recapping and talking us through the book Spare. In case you missed it, I put out a video yesterday of part 1. So just to keep track in case you're reading along with me, part 1 I covered the opening of the book up till chapter 42. Today's video I am picking up part 1, chapter 43, and I read all the way until part 2, chapter 40. And if you're like, Jen, that doesn't make sense. Well, the book doesn't make sense. They are broken up into 3 parts. I think part 1 has 58 chapters. Part 2 and part 3 each have 87 chapters. My God. And then there's a 12-minute epilogue to look forward to. We're going to talk about it all because I have lots to say on this part. But first, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have taken the time to write me comments. I want you to know, if you take the time to write me, I will take the time to read it. I appreciate every single one of you so very much. I truly do. I couldn't be here without you. All of your comments mean the world to me. Thank you for that. I also want to draw your attention, my friend Parody Whitney. She's a truly talented musician and she's one of us. She feels the same way about Harry and Meghan. She's been writing songs about it and they are truly hysterical. She just put out Like a Spare to the tune of Like a Prayer. So definitely give her, check her stuff out. She's a lot of fun and I love her. We bonded over hatred of it just like that. And she has songs about that. And then our love continued to grow for each other over the Amber Heard of it all, and now here we are. So check out her channel, Parody Whitney. You guys, let me just tell you, today was awful. I listened to 5+ hours of this thing, and I had to jump on the mic because I'm kind of in shock at how bad it was. And yes, it's easy for me, because I can't stand them, to think, ugh, everything they put out is bad. It's not even that. I really thought maybe I'll learn something, maybe I'll get an insight to something. No, you want to know what today was? Giant load of pants. This is a load of pants. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something silly that we came up with during and just like that. But it fits. This was a load of pants. I listened to 5+ hours of this asshole whining about, I don't even know, his family, mostly his time in the military, but I pulled out some gems for us and we're going to listen to him and we're going to react to him just like we did yesterday. But I'm just giving you a heads up. If you're listening to this book, if you're just following along, skip these chapters because my goodness, it's wild. You can tell I'm speechless. I'm never speechless, but I am in this because it was so bad. It's so poorly written. I don't understand. I don't even want to come down on the ghostwriter because he probably didn't have anything to work with. And as many of you point out in the comments, probably Meghan got a hold of it anyway. I don't know what's going on, but it is terrible. Listen, even if you're super into military history stuff or workings or even Prince Harry's history, you gotta think, 5 hours of talking about the military might be a little excessive. To me, it just screamed a little bit, don't call me a hero, guys. I'm not I'm a hero. It was just oh God, 5 hours. What are we doing? I'm gonna talk about some of the things in this portion of the book, and then we're gonna get into the clips and kind of react to those. This portion takes us through his relationship with Chelsea, and that sounds more interesting than he actually put in here. Me suspects that old Maggie Poo didn't want too much gushy about Chelsea in the book. I'm just a hunch here. So we just kind of get glimpses of that relationship. It's more about, of course, shocker, it's focused on him and his time in the military and how they were kind of on again, off again. He goes into his love of Zimbabwe in this part of the book. He mentions Kate. He calls her Kate. He mentions Kate, and I apologize. I know I always mean to call her Catherine. Sometimes I call her Kate. It's not, obviously she's my favorite, so it's not a dig. It's just force of habit. So Catherine. But he calls her Kate, and he literally calls her, in the first mention of her in the book, he says Willie's friend Kate, and he does start to talk about the infamous party. Now, nothing is his fault ever. So we get the story of him. None of it, it's all bullshit, right? I mean, it's crazy at this point. He's a grown man. He can't take responsibility for anything, which, hello, call me crazy, but if you can't take responsibility for your mistakes, then you haven't learned from them and you're doomed to repeat them, right? But he calls, according to Harold, he calls Willie and Kate, and the idea is I forget now, it's like you're supposed to be over the top silly for this party, and so the idea is William was going to dress as a lion, and then Harold claims that there were two options at this costume shop, and one of them was the you-know-what uniform, and he ran it by them. They laughed hysterically and encouraged him to get it. So again, he is not at fault, you guys. They encouraged him. So if I encourage you all to go out and rob a bank, and then it's not your fault, it's my fault, because you just had to do it, right? It just makes him look even dumber, and I didn't think that was possible, yet here we are. Then he goes on again. It's a constant theme of the hatred of the press surrounding the royal family. He says he tried on the outfit. They howled with laughter. He went to the party, and I wrote this down because just go with me here on the nonsense. Okay. He says at the party, no one noticed me, which I took as a small win. Okay. If he truly didn't think he was doing anything wrong, or there was anything wrong with the outfit he was wearing, which, hello, how do you not realize there's something wrong with the outfit? If he truly didn't think that, then why would he think, no one noticed me? It's a win, right? It doesn't make sense. He doesn't make any sense. He's contradicting himself. Anybody with a quarter of a brain, a fraction of a brain, is smart enough to realize that, surely. In the telling of the story, he becomes the victim in his own mind, or the narrative, or however you want to say that. It is also in the section of the book that he goes into when he filmed his friends and filmed himself using a slur to describe one of his friends. And he sent it out to people, which got sent out to more people. You know how that goes, and sold to the news. So again, it's not that he is horrified by his own actions or taking responsibility. It's more about it got out and sold to the evil press. And it's the court. I'm so sorry. I just can't stop laughing at how ridiculous this is. He blames the courtiers because he says that he wasn't allowed to go out and publicly apologize. They encouraged him not to do that. Oh my God, grow up. Take some responsibility, you doofus. Again, most of this section of the book is spent talking about his time in the military, from boot camp to his time. It's not even worth going into, you guys. It's so bad. He does go into how he dealt with the Diana stuff. He had not been to Paris, according to him. I am kind of shocked to hear that. What is it, 2 hours away, I think, by train? Something like that. Anyway, whatever. So he had not been to Paris. Maybe he meant since the accident. That I would understand. But he had not been to Paris, according to him. So he had gone to the World Cup in Paris and decided to take the same route that car, that Diana's car took. And goes into his rage at the press and their role in it. And I'm not going to go too deep into that because it's depressing as shit. We'll just leave it at that. But he does describe his anger is a red mist. He has a red mist, you guys. My God. I'm yellow pissed. How about that? All right, what else? He gets into his drinking. He's drinking to hide the pain. He's talking about he doesn't care if he dies while in Afghanistan because he's in a lot of pain. And if that's true, obviously, I'm not going to make fun of that. Anybody in pain like that, that's truly terrible. I have a suspicion that sometimes he uses his pain, which is undoubtedly there, to, I don't know, try to get us to like him more. And I just find the opposite. I can't with this guy. I can't. And I have sympathy for people who have been through pain. I mean, we all have, and have our mistakes and our demons and everything in between. But, oh God, I just can't with this guy. His personality is the worst. I'm just sticking with the book because I can't wait to get into the Kate of it all. I'm dying to hear what he has to say and how wrong he gets it all with Catherine and Willie. And so I'm hanging on for that. This section that I listened to today, I ended up right at the line where Harry is saying, it's part 2, chapter 40. He's saying William is going to marry. And he read it in the news. It was never mentioned to him. Bullshit. There's no way. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the palace and how it works, but there's no way. That I just refuse to believe that. You wouldn't just read about your sibling getting married. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But it was news to him, according to Harry. I don't believe it, but he says it. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. So let's listen to some clips. I've pulled some clips here. We'll take a listen and comment on those. And I can't wait to get into the next part of the book because I really want to hear what he has to say going forward. I don't know why. I think so I can laugh at it. All right, let's get into this. Okay, this first clip I pulled just for irony. Here we go. By the way, in case you didn't hear yesterday's episode, I play this at 1.2 speed, so he does sound a little different. I got a million comments saying he sounds exactly like Gordon Ramsay, but I just can't handle the way he talks so slowly. I can't do it, so I always play at a faster speed. Here we go.
I didn't want to be the cause of them losing the one resource more precious than water. Privacy.
All right. Think about the irony there. He's talking about when he worked on this farm and then paparazzi found him. He didn't want them, meaning the people he's working with, I believe, or the farm owners, whatever, to lose a resource more precious than water. Privacy. Interesting in a tell-all book about your family where you don't seem to give a crap about their privacy.
I was amazed to be the one going first. Willie always went first, in all things, and I wondered how this would go over. With him, with the world, but especially with Pa.
So again, the context doesn't really matter here. He's talking to, I believe, a reporter or a journalist maybe about Diana's passing. And just listen to the way he speaks. Willie always went first. I was worried how Pa would feel about it. I mean, again, I had so many of you in the comments saying he sounds like a teenager. And I would say that's even giving him credit. He sounds like perhaps a middle schooler.
Unlike so many people I knew, she seemed wholly unconcerned with appearances, with propriety, with royalty. Unlike so many girls I met, she wasn't visibly fitting herself for a crown the moment she shook my hand.
So this is Harry describing meeting Chelsea Davy and his feelings about her. And I say, oh, Harold, oh, it's so funny to know who you end up with. And you seem to have zero radar about these things because, again, look who you ended up with.
The press, they ruin everything, don't they? They do.
Okay, once again, let's get meta for a second. Who's been doing a ton of press lately? He sure doesn't mind using them when it suits him to sell a book, but otherwise, they're evil, right? Okay, I'm going to set up this next clip because it's unbelievable. You just have to hear it. But basically, he's talking about, at this point, Harry and William shared a cottage while they were both doing military stuff. And so William was asked to give an interview about what it's like, living with Harry. And William made some jokes about Harry snoring and being a mess. And so this is Harry's response to all of it.
That only made them laugh harder. Willie too. I laughed as well, because we often bantered like that. But when I look back on it now, I can't help but wonder if there wasn't something else at play. I was training to get to the front lines, the same place Willie had been training to get, but the palace had scuttled his plans.
Okay, so in case you missed that, what he's claiming there is that William is jealous of him. And that's why he made jokes about Harry snoring and being a mess at the cottage. It couldn't possibly be that William was just looking for some cute, sibling banter or whatever to give to the press, to a human interest story. Nope. Harry has to make everything about himself, and William is clearly jealous. Sure, Harry. Sure, Harold. Again, guys, 5 hours of this crap. He uses other people and tells us what they said to him, relays exact conversations from years ago, sure, and uses it as a way to brag. You know those people that do that? He's one of them. Take a listen. This is him explaining to us, his audience, about what his, I don't know what you call it, commanding officer was saying to him. Ready? You might want to get a vomit bucket.
Harry. Why, Colonel? Because you've had operational ground experience in reconnaissance. You were a very fine FAC, and you're a bloody good pilot. You're going to fly Apaches. But I can tell from the way you fly, the way you read the ground, this is what you were meant to do. Meant to do? The course was torture. And yet I was on time every day. I showed up with my 3-ring binders full of info about the Apache engines.
You see what I mean? 5 hours. Oh, I wish we could all do a meetup in a bar or something and talk about this loser. Can you believe this? Holy crap. Okay, so the last clip I'm going to play is where I'm super interested to see where the heck he's going with this. It is exactly where I left off on this book. It is, part 2, chapter 40. and it's talking about William and his plans to marry. And then Harry didn't know. Okay. Take a listen to this clip, and yeah, you'll hate that. You'll hate Harry. Here we go.
News to me. All that time together in Lesotho, he'd never mentioned it. The papers published florid stories about the moment I realised Willie and Kate were well matched, the moment I appreciated the depth of their love and thus decided to gift Willie the ring I'd inherited from Mummy, the legendary sapphire, a tender moment between brothers, a bonding moment for all three of us. An absolute rubbish. None of it ever happened. I never gave Willie that ring.
Can you believe this, D-head? I mean, seriously, what is he trying to do? What is he hoping to accomplish here? Even if what he's saying is true, which I don't buy a word of it, that he didn't know, that he didn't authorize his mother's ring to go to Catherine, whatever. What are you trying to have happen? Cause a rift between William and Catherine? Trying to make her feel bad about the ring? We're trying to make the public hate her? We don't. But where are you going with this? Can you even believe that garbage? I mean, seriously. Do you think, again, a lot of you said in the comments you think Meghan wrote it. Do you think that's Meghan? Is it trying to make people dislike Catherine or see her differently or make everybody hate her ring? I mean, it's gorgeous, by the way. I love that ring, and screw Harry and Meghan. All right, guys, that is it for me. Let's see how far I can keep going. I mean, I'm going to finish the book, but I'll do another section, so look out for that. I'm still so mad about that last clip. It makes me want to vomit. I want to hear where he's going next and hear him be a petulant child. And I mean, what's happening? Are we tattletales? Are we in elementary school? What's going on? So weird. Anyway, guys, I can't thank you enough. All the comments, all the love, all the support. I'm blown away. I really am. You guys are so kind to me, and I just want you to know I appreciate all of you. Thank you for everything, all the love and support. If you want to further support the channel, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Check out my ko-fi/Real Housewives Recaps. Thank you to all who have given toward getting me to the coronation. And if you want to further support, hit that thank you button. I really appreciate everybody who's done that. That means the whole wide world to me. And thanks for being here. Oh, if you're still here and listening, I was thinking about doing a live chat soon. That's something that I did a lot of during the Amber Heard of it all, and we all kind of got on and had a laugh, and I don't know, just kind of got to know each other. I was kind of thinking about doing that. I'll get Jay, my husband, on, and we'll have some laughs and, I don't know, catch up about this clown. What do you think? Let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I will keep the videos coming in the meantime. Thanks so much for being here. Take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.